You guys, happy hour is from 4 to 6.
Miss Kennedy, would you get me a medium dry vodka martini?
What is
Shaken, not stirred.
Hold on. I'm not hearing it right. Hold on. We got it now.
Is there alcohol in this?
Oh, God, honey, no. What kind of mother do you think I am? Why do you want a little bit? Because if you're going to drink, I'd rather you do it in the house.
Make it Suntory time.
No one could hear me. So hopefully now you can hear me. Happy hour. I was filming a wedding this weekend. And so my gear is I'm getting it all together still. And I think it looks okay. My camera's back up and working, got the right cable, then not the one that my cat chewed. So anyway, hope everyone's having a wonderful day. This weekend at the box office was interesting. If you weren't the Paw Patrol movie, you didn't do so well, but that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. I'm personally not going to see Paw Patrol because I don't have little babies, but and I really like animated films, but some you just know are just for like a very young demographic. So that one I probably will be skipping, even though it does look adorable. So if you have seen it, I'd love to hear what you thought about it. Or if you have kids and you're planning on taking them, or if you're just planning on taking yourself because you like cute little animated dogs, that's fine too. I'd love to hear about that. I will admit the box office for The Creator was a little disappointing just because of how beautiful it looks. But I think that film will probably have some longevity as the month progresses. As well as Saw 10. Did anyone see that this weekend? I did not. I plan on seeing these movies. I've just been crazy with the film that, oh my God, the wedding film. I'm getting myself back together here. So anyway, yeah, so if you were in Paw Patrol, then you didn't do so hot at the box office, but we'll see how that happens. And it is early, and I think something like Saw, especially since it's Halloween month, I think that that will have some longevity as well throughout the month. So let's hit the chat, and then we're going to talk about a couple other things that I'm really excited for. And then my good friend Cody from Dude Who Loves Movies is going to be my guest. He'll be on at 5. And yeah, I'm really excited to have him on. First comment is from Maxfield, my boyfriend. Hello to the coolest corner of YouTube. Yes, they all say hello as well, I'm sure. Dell, what's up? Hi. Thank you for stopping by. Let's see, the Cobwebs channel. Excited to see the dude. Yes, I am very excited to have him on. Thank you for joining Cobwebs channel. I'll have to check out your channel. The View with Drew. Hello, everyone. What's up? Hi, Drew. Dimension Scott. How's it going? Once again, yes, everyone's doing fine, I think. It's very hot in New York right now. It's not the worst today, but I actually have my air conditioner on because it's a little too much. It's like 80-something degrees, and I was not expecting that since it's been in the 60s and 70s. So I'm not complaining. It's just, you when you're adjusting all over the place to the temperature, it can feel a little bit more dramatic than it actually is, or drastic, I should say. Hey, Luke, what's going on? Hope you're doing well today. I hope you're doing well today, too. Tiana, nice to see you here. I hope you're having a lovely time. Hey all, Wilkie's movies and music. Hopefully I can talk today. I don't know, I'm tripping over all my words. I don't know why, but happy to have you here, Wilkie's movies and music. Let's see. Good news. I'll be seeing Dumb Money tomorrow and hope to enjoy it. Yes, I'm really looking forward to seeing it because I saw it, as I've said to everyone, when it was not finished in March, I think, or April. It might have been April. It was like you sign up for those things, and it was certainly not done. So I'm curious to see what they did with it. I've heard good things. Also forgot to mention I made an origin story video on my channel recently. Oh, well, that's awesome. I'll definitely check that out, Drew. That's really cool. Seeing Saw X tomorrow night. Is it Saw X or Saw 10? Does anyone care if I say Saw X or Saw 10? I don't know. It's kind of like Twitter. It's like, am I going to call Twitter X? I think probably not, if it's just a habit thing. So that's cool. Yeah, I actually don't know anyone that has seen Saw. If anyone has seen Saw X, Saw 10, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I've been hearing really good things, which is great. Muted. Yes, I fixed it. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Yes, I figured that one out. Now everyone can hear me. Yay, everyone can hear me. Fantastic. Yes, cheers. Dilated Cinema. Cheers to you as well. Oh, sorry. Dilated Entertainment. I didn't mean to screw up your name. I apologize. Yes, perfect. Everyone's acknowledging that the sound is fixed. Lovely. Hello, Laren. How's it going? Nice to have you stop by. And everyone's saying hi. Okay, so I'm gonna get back to the comments in a moment. Some new faces in here. Jerry, hello, Jerry. What's up? What's up with you? I'm doing just fine. Hope you're having a nice day. Yes. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is Napoleon. Napoleon, big announcement for Napoleon. Napoleon, which has quite a lot of competition coming out around the same time, is actually going to be in theaters in 70 millimeter as well as IMAX, I believe. Now, if I'm wrong, someone can correct me on the IMAX thing, but I know it is definitely also being shown just like Oppenheimer was in 70 millimeter. So that's really cool. I'm really excited for Napoleon. So yeah, I didn't get a chance to see Oppenheimer in 70 millimeter because all the theaters were sold out, and then I got really busy and I just didn't get a chance to do that. But I know for people that did, they said it was an incredible experience seeing Oppenheimer in 70 millimeter. So yeah, I'm going to definitely try to do that for Napoleon since that was just announced today. The other thing I wanted to talk about, I don't know if there's any, I don't really talk about TV a lot on this channel, but I am in the middle right now of Only Murders in the Building season 3. I think I'm on like episode 4 or 5, and they announced today that the season 4 is going to be renewed. If you are an Only Murders in the Building fan and you watch the series, or maybe you haven't gotten caught up, my guest I had last week, Movie Files, he does a series every week discussing it, I believe. Well, at least until the show's over. I'm sure the finale has probably happened because I'm just late to the bandwagon on that show. But I've been enjoying it so far. I've been enjoying Meryl Streep on the show. And I don't know who the murderer is yet. They keep, as any shows like this do, they keep trying to sway you into different characters and thinking they are, and then it seems too obvious, and it's like, but wait, is it too obvious? Maybe they are the killer. So who knows? But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think it's fun. I love Steve Martin and Martin Short, and I think Martin Short this season is just absolutely incredible. He's like, he just cracks me up so much, and he's so fast and so smart, and just I think it's his sense of humor is right up my alley. So yeah. Let's see here. Do you think the crazy weather this weekend hindered the box office? Maybe. Yeah, that actually, I mean, I will tell you, if you were in New York on Friday, you were certainly not going to the movies. I will tell you that right now. New York got flooded like crazy. And yes, no buses, subways weren't working, no cabs. It was like an apocalypse here on Friday. So, and I had to take the train, and that was a very difficult time, but I made it to the place I had to be. But yes, that might have happened. That I didn't even think about that. Because yeah, the box office in general was really low this weekend. I think even I know Paw Patrol did the best, but I'm assuming that didn't even do like groundbreaking numbers. Everyone's saying hi to each other. Luke says it's super windy out in Minnesota today. Well, Bundle up then, Luke. Bundle up. Let's see here. I also pre-ordered the 4K Blu-ray Steelbook for Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. This may sound crazy. I still haven't watched it. I will be ordering Mission Impossible and Blue Beetle soon. It's not crazy because I did not see Transformers: Rise of the Beasts in theaters, and I heard mixed things. I think, I mean, like, it's not like I wouldn't watch it. I like the concept of the Transformers IP more than I think I have a desire to watch the movies, and I know that sounds really weird, but nothing seems like it's blowing me away with them. So that's why I haven't been enticed. So and then also with Mission Impossible and Blue Beetle. Well, Mission Impossible, I quite enjoyed. It's not perfect, but I really, really liked it. And Blue Beetle has a lot of problems, but it certainly wasn't like bad, I'd say. I mean, it could have been a lot better. But definitely worth a watch, I'd say. I think James Gunn, and again, we can't always go by James Gunn ever. Like, I know that. He recently said Blue Beetle is here to stay. We'll see if that's true because he changes his mind every 5 seconds. But I do like the character. I think that's what I got from that film, was that I really liked the Blue Beetle character more than the movie. And I don't want them to just throw him away. Like, I want to see him further in the DCU. So I really liked him. So hopefully James Gunn keeps his word on that one. Okay, yes, back to Only Murders. I'm enjoying that show too. Meryl Streep is really delightful. Does anyone okay, this is my personal rumor that I've heard and I've discussed sometimes, but not on this show. Quentin Tarantino's newest movie, The Film Critic. Is it going to be Meryl Streep? Have they cast it yet? Am I crazy? Because I know that was speculatory when that was announced, and I'm really excited for that. I haven't really heard any news on it. So if anyone here has any news on Quentin Tarantino's The Critic, and if it is Meryl Streep, I could also see someone like Helen Mirren, but I feel like Helen Mirren's too old. I don't think that critic that he was basing the film off of was as old as Helen Mirren, and is probably closer to the Meryl Streep age. So I know that they're very close in age, but it feels like to me Helen Mirren's much older. So yeah. Yes, it is addicting. You want to just binge through them. And I know they do them once a week, but since I waited, I'm catching up on them. That's going to be really fun, Luke. I actually was just at the location of where they filmed Dark Shadows up in Tarrytown, New York. Yeah, the Lyndhurst house is where they filmed. It's a mansion. That's where they filmed all of Dark Shadows. Oh, wait, you're probably talking about the movie. Sorry, I'm talking about the TV show. The TV show that the Tim Burton film is based off of. I saw the house where that was filmed, and that was really cool. They also filmed the show The Gilded Age there as well. That's an HBO show. When the writer's strike ending, what's your most anticipated movie of 2024? Well, now that the writer's strike is over, we're just waiting for the actor's strike to be over. They've been they are in negotiations this week. That's gonna wrap up real fast. Now that the writer's strike has ended, woo! Yes, I'm very happy about that, and they got exactly what they wanted, pretty much. I mean, they're very happy with what they got. If you're a little confused or want to learn more about what the negotiations came down to and what the writers got in this, Dan Murrell on his YouTube channel did like an in-depth breakdown of all the specifications, and I highly recommend it. I think I said this last week, but it's a really great video. And he's the guy that started Screen Junkies back in the day and then started his own channel when he moved. Dark Shadows, underrated. Of the movie. I actually haven't seen the film, but I would like to. I know Tim Burton's a little hit or miss now, but he seems to be doing quite well as a producer for his Wednesday show. So that's cool. And I am looking forward to seeing Beetlejuice, the sequel to Beetlejuice. Oh, I didn't even answer your question, Drew. 2024, I mean, a lot of the stuff that was pushed back, I'm excited for. Dune 2, and I really want to see that Zendaya film, The Challengers. It's that sexy tennis movie I keep bringing up. But I did see the trailer for what was it? I saw a trailer for something recently. It looked like it was very similar to that. I just watched the trailer for Todd Haynes' May December, and that looks really great. That just premiered. That's Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore. It's kind of I think more of a psychological thriller. And when I say thriller, I kind of say that in an exaggeratory way, but to me, that's what I would discuss. Like, if you think that Gone Girl is a psychological thriller, I would say that this is kind of a psychological thriller as well. And that's one of my favorite genres of film. So I'm really excited to see May, December. Let's see. Pugwall 316, thanks for joining. Hi, I need to get back to Murders in the Building. Stopped after season 1. Yeah, season 2. I'm trying to remember if I liked season 2 or not. I think season 2 was like fine for me, but I think I might be enjoying season 3 even more. Well, I can't say that because the end of season 2 was really good. I'm not spoiling anything, but yeah, I thought it's a fine show. I mean, it is what it is. It's not trying to be like White Lotus or something like that, you know? So, I mean, I like it. I think it's a fun show. And again, the cast is so good. And it takes place they shoot a lot of times around my neighborhood for that show. And that's really cool. My most anticipated yes, because this is what we're talking about. Deadpool 3, Mission Impossible 8, Joker. Oh, well, yes, Folie de Joker 2. I'm so excited for. I am counting down for a trailer. I don't know when we're going to get one, but I'm really excited. I think I heard maybe in December we're going to get a trailer for the Joker 2 movie. I would really like that. That teaser was so cool. I don't know if you guys have seen the teaser for Folie de Joker 2, but my goodness, that was such a cool teaser. And also, there's a lot of fake trailers for this movie. There's so many fake trailers on YouTube. Don't get fooled. I didn't get fooled, but I just see them pop up and I'm like, this is not real. Do you guys hate that? I hate when people post fake trailers for things that have not come out, and it just drives me absolutely crazy. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and the Bob Marley biopic. Yeah, the Bob Marley biopic got delayed as well. I'm hoping that the Bob Marley biopic is better than the trailer was, because the trailer felt a little bit like a made-for-TV movie, which is not fair to Bob Marley. I'm not saying, because I find him to be fascinating, and I hope it's. We've talked about musical biopics on this channel quite a bit, and how they can be hit or miss. I'm hoping that the film is better than what the trailer gave me. Like, there were moments in the trailer where I was like, oh, like, well done, like, nice job with that, I like that. But as a whole, it should really like get you pumped up to see a biopic, and I don't feel like it did that. Rise of the Beast is one of the better Transformer movies, but still bad. Yeah, I mean, I keep hearing that. I heard the script is very problematic. Any plans on seeing I think that's The Creator. I am very excited to see The Creator. I've heard really great things, especially visually, and it's back to basics filmmaking, and the fact that he made that film on an $80 million budget is absolutely mind-blowing, compared to all these other huge sci-fi films or big blockbuster movies that cost $250 million and they don't look as good. So, yeah. Now, I actually, no one will save you too. I felt the same way about the visual effects, and I think I talked about this because I talked about it last week. Like, some people don't like that the aliens look so generic, or like that stereotypical alien-looking type. I didn't have a problem with that, but they look so good. Like, the visual effects. Oh, that's another big story we need to talk about. Visual effects people that work for Disney have now all voted to unionize, and I am very excited about this because those people get so overworked. And we were just talking about this on a brand versus demand video that John Automates is going to be putting out, I think on Friday. The fact of the matter is, we all talk about how these studios have really bad visual effects, not because of the visual effects artists, but because they're worked to death, and they're not using basic filmmaking techniques, which is what the director of The Creator did. And studios rely so heavily on visual effects when it's actually more cost effective to just find a real location, use in-camera tricks, use lighting appropriately. Like, there's so many things you can do to cut costs. And I think now that the visual effects artists are going to unionize, I'm hoping that helps big studios think for these big budgeted films, like, wait a second, let's go back to basic filmmaking. Then we'll be able to rely on visual effects artists less, they'll be happier, everyone will be happy, and we'll probably be putting out a higher quality product at the end of the day. So I kind of see that happening in the future. Hopefully that is the case, because my goodness, you hear such horror stories with the visual effects artists for these films. So let's see. I think Streep is way older than who Tarantino is going to cast. I thought he said he was going with someone younger. Okay, so maybe it will be someone younger, and then we see like her age. That would make sense, because he's always described this woman as like this crotchety person that like he always disagreed with, but he like she was infamous for having like hot takes. The movie should literally just be called Hot Take because that's like essentially what it is. I like the title of The Critic. I'm just joking, but like you could literally call Quentin Tarantino's newest film called Hot Take the movie. But yeah, that makes sense. Dan Murrell is awesome. His coverage of the strikes is amazing. I agree. Yeah, really excellent. Oh, perfect. Dell said Streep is 74, Mirren is 78. Okay. Meryl Streep just looks incredibly young, I guess. I mean, like Helen Mirren does too. Like, there's no way you'd ever think Helen Mirren's 78. But when I compare the two, I think it's also the roles they take, because I feel like Meryl Streep takes roles where she can come off as younger. Whereas, oh no, see, I'm contradicting myself all over the place. I don't know. I don't know why I associated Helen Mirren being like, I don't know, 8 years older, not 4. But yeah, so their age difference isn't that crazy. Let's see. Yes, there is way too much AI art of Harley Quinn with Lady Gaga. Yeah, it's all that fake stuff, and I get it. People are excited. I'm really excited, but I'm sick of seeing fake stuff all over the place when it comes to that movie. I plan to get Rise of the Beast for my collection. The movie wasn't my favorite of the Transformers. I think Bumblebee was better, and I depended on Michael Bay's vision. I didn't see Bumblebee, but I've heard that people actually like that better as well. So, if you guys even think I should watch any of them, I mean, I saw the first one and I was like, okay, I'm good. And again, I like the concept of the IP a lot, but they just never really, you know, got me to buy a ticket to go see it. Especially this summer too. Like there were so many things that came out that I had much more of a desire to see than that. I'm curious about the Bob Marley biopic coming in January, because lately with music biopics, it's been a case of where I start out as not being a fan of the musician it's based on. Yeah, okay, so it's like you get to appreciate someone more than you had because you watched the film. I will tell you, I've never not liked the Beatles. Like I've always liked the Beatles, but when I watched Peter Jackson's doc series that he put out on Apple, oh my god, I was like, first of all, it's the coolest thing ever, because you never get to see footage of John Lennon like that, really, like that intimate footage. And I just really respected their songwriting process, like because you just saw they were like musical geniuses, really. I mean, maybe not all of them, but definitely like there's moments of genius in the film that you see, and it's really really fascinating. Let's see here. Oh wait, I'm so sorry. It's so funny to watch studios figure out that movies look better if you actually film things that exist. Yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. The creator, director was like, it's cheaper if we just find really awesome locations to shoot at instead of doing everything on a stage and with green screen, and definitely paid off. There's no way you can tell that movie is that cheap. Dell says, watch Bumblebee, skip the rest of the Transformers movies. Will do. I keep hearing that. I've heard that from a couple people, and now two here on the chat. Speaking of, this is going to be my guest this evening. He'll be on at 5 p.m. Eastern. I know everyone's in different time zones, and I always forget that when I say things like that. But what's up? Don't forget to roundhouse kick that like button. Yes, absolutely. We're going to have lots of fun. Let's see here. Everyone's saying hi. Awesome. Laren says, Lopke, I have to leave before you come in, but I'll miss you and I'll catch the replay, I promise. Oh, well, Laren, we all love you, so there's no need to, apologize about anything. Now that there are, there's been some people in there's been quite a bit of people in the chat. Did anyone actually go to the theater this weekend? Because I'd love to know that, since it seemed like no one did. Because I mean, I didn't, but I was really busy. But I'm sure some people have. But yeah, for the most part. Also, are you guys excited for Loki season 2? Because I'm hoping it's good. I'm really hoping Loki season 2 is good. I really liked Loki season 1. I know it had some problems, but I think overall it was good. And I really like Loki in general. I think he's actually considered a lot of people's like favorite character in the MCU, which is wild. So I don't know if he's my favorite, but he's definitely in my top 3. So I'm excited for season 2. And I think the time jumping thing it scares me a little bit, but if it's done well, I think that's great. And the whole era it's set in, when they set in, which I believe is the late 1800s. I could be wrong. It could be the early 1900s, but I believe it's late 1800s. That all looks really cool. So I'm stoked for that. I'm definitely going to be watching on Friday, I believe, Thursday or Friday, the 5th. I think it's October 5th. Oh, then it's Thursday. I'll definitely be checking that one out. Okay. This show's about to be awesome, Cody. Yes. Who is your favorite classic musician of all time? For me, it's got to be Freddie Mercury. That is really difficult. I don't have an answer for that, but I will star it. I will star it. Also, if anyone else, I know Secret Invasion was horrendous. I didn't see it, but I heard horrible things, and I was like, well, I'm not going to waste my time on that. Does anyone care about an Echo show? Because I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if it's just kind of like, you know what I mean? I hope they just get back on track, and hopefully they will. Looks like my guest is here. I'm going to play our little intro video to get everyone pumped up. But sooner than later, we will have Cody, Dude Who Loves Movies, on, and very excited. So I'm going to play the intro video, and here we go.
Is there alcohol in this?
Oh, God, honey, no. What kind of mother do you think I am? Why do you want a little bit? Because if you're going to drink, I'd rather you do it in the house.
Make it Suntory time.
Hello, Cody.
Hey, Tracy. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Oh, thank you for joining. I'm gonna mirror my camera so that I think now I'll be looking at you. Yes. Otherwise,
Okay.
I don't want it to be the whole time where I look like I'm looking away from you. So.
Oh, okay.
No, thank you so much for joining.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah. I have been asking everyone this. Did you see anything at the movie theater this weekend? Because the box office was incredibly low.
No, I really wanted to see Saw X, but I was out of town. I was in California for a convention called Halloween 45. It's like the convention that was celebrating the Halloween franchise. So I just got back last night, so I have not been able to get out and see Saw X yet. But I want to.
Yes, I saw you were posting a bit about that on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to tell anyone a little bit about what you saw at Halloween 45?
Yeah, so actually it was a cool weekend. There was on Friday we took like a tour of all the Halloween locations, but we got to see other houses too, like the Liar Liar house, which was really cool to see, and the Pretty in Pink house, and the Myers house, the Nightmare on Elm Street house, all kinds of different filming locations. And we drove past the Netflix headquarters, and there was like the people picketing, but you can tell that it's like not what it used to be. It's just kind of like the leftover people, and they're just kind of like walking by on their phone. It's like it's not like the hype has died down with it, because they're in negotiation today, so I'm sure, or right now I think.
Yes,
last I heard. So hopefully it ends here soon. But yeah. And then the convention was Saturday and Sunday, and that was fun. I got to meet what's his name, Anthony Michael Hall, who is I've seen so many stuff with. He had a very short line, which I was kind of surprised, but I think it's because he charged a little more than everybody else. But he was very, very nice. I told him that I hated him when I was a kid because of how he treated Edward from Edward Scissorhands, and he laughed like that because at first he didn't know where I was going with that. He's like, "Oh," but yeah, like he was in a lot of movies that I watched when I was a child, and when he showed up in Edward Scissorhands, I was just like, "Whoa, this is not the guy I like here." But anyways, I told him about that, and then on the way home yesterday, Monday, I stopped at the Pee Wee Herman dinosaur, and I got to go inside of that and stuff. It was really fun. It was a cool weekend.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I love Anthony Michael Hall. My favorite, I think, of his. Well, it's hard because there's so many different eras of him, but I love Weird Science so much, and I think he really got to shine in that movie. You know, because all the Brat Pack movies, I feel like he was always part of like a larger ensemble, and that one it's really just him and his friend, and Kelly Brock, I think is that her name?
Yeah, Kelly Brock.
Yeah, who I think is just absolutely gorgeous in that film. Smoking hot. And I just love the concept and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's great. That's really cool, too, that you saw the dinosaur from Pee-wee. Are you a big Pee-wee Herman fan?
I am a big Pee Wee Herman fan, too. And it's cool because right now the dinosaur is painted in the Pee Wee Herman's suit. And yeah, and I guess like a week after he passed away, they painted the suit on him, and it's gonna last till the beginning of not August, October. So I was hoping that they wouldn't, because on the way up there Thursday, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get there while it's light outside, and of course it wasn't. It was like storming and stuff. So I was like, hopefully it's still painted on Monday when I'm there during the day, and it was.
Oh,
So
that's so
yeah,
cool.
and it said Pee Wee on his chest. It was really nice.
I have to address with you because a few people are talking about it. Your shirt.
Oh,
is it
yeah.
a Goosebumps shirt?
Yeah, Halloween 4, which is my favorite one. But yeah. It's a Goosebumps shirt. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm glad this was brought up too, because I know not all the Disney shows have been hits. I actually thought the trailer for the new Goosebumps series with Justin Long looks actually really good. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen it yet?
I have, and I thought it looked really good too. But I felt like I was the only one that thought it looked good. Everyone else was like, "This looks like trash. Looks this and that." I thought it looked good, and I love Justin Long, so.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a hot take because we watched it and we were like, oh my God, it actually looks really good. I know that the films that came out, I think those were targeted a little bit for a younger audience, and these kind of feel like maybe for teens and adults.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't know. Did you ever watch Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yes.
Where I felt like Goosebumps was more for like the little kids, which I still loved Goosebumps, but then once it got to Are You Afraid of the Dark, it was for kind of like the older kids, even though I was still younger watching it, but it felt a little more dangerous as a kid, And I kind of feel like this is that. And a lot of people that are watching this trailer are people like our age, so they're kind of like judging it, but it's really not made for us, really. It's kind of made for like a younger audience, but we're still gonna watch it. Well, I'm still gonna watch it.
I still have nightmares of Slappy, the dummy.
Yeah, that's my favorite, the dummy. Yeah, and I'm glad they always bring him in too. I noticed he's in the promotion photos and stuff, and for this new series coming up. It's a series, right? No, or is it a movie?
Yeah, I think it's a series.
Series, okay.
Yeah, no, Slappy still scares me. And I remember reading those books and like you could just visualize like, oh, the creepiness of that. Dummies are creepy.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie Magic with Anthony Anthony Hopkins?
I don't know. I'm not
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, he's a ventriloquist, and he's like, you don't know if the dummy's alive or if it's him doing it. Yeah, it's really good. It's an older movie, and it's an early movie of Anthony Hopkins. But yeah,
Wow.
it's a horror movie. I would definitely look it up. It's called Magic.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Yeah, that stuff creeps me out so much. So that sounds right up my alley. At least it creeps me out in a good way.
Yeah.
Someone said, man, that Aqualung bit gets me every time. Such a great album. Yeah, that's like what Will Ferrell screams at the end of his jazz thing. And he's
Oh
like,
yeah.
hey, Aqualung. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that intro. Yeah.
I just want to bring Cobwebs. I had asked if people actually care about the Echo series because Loki 2 is coming out. Because I don't really think a lot of people care about the Echo show because it was just like a character in Hawkeye's series, and now we're supposed to know who that is, and I don't know if it's gonna be good, but it keeps getting delayed. So
yeah, I'm not quite sure what Echo is.
no.
I did not keep up with the Marvel shows like I should have.
It's not, but that's their biggest problem. I think they expected people to just watch these shows and nothing else, and it just got to be too much, you know, especially when they're not all amazing. I think if they had stuck to like 2 shows for the year, like every year 2 shows, and then maybe have a second season for some of them as well, but like it was like what six series in the matter of like 6 months or something.
Yeah, it was
wild.
It was a lot.
We have greetings from San Francisco. Well, thanks for joining. The time scales. Hi, Tracy. You have one of the best movie nerd talk shows on YouTube. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Thank you very much. That's very kind. Glad I discovered you. Oh, thanks, Cody. It's Halloween season. Is The Exorcist sequel on your radar? Yes, it is, but I'm not looking forward to it because I think I'm going to be like horrified. Are you going to see it?
So this is probably a hot take. I haven't seen the first Exorcist since I was like 8 years old, and I did not like it when I was 8 years old. But it's one of those things where I feel like if I watched it now, I would really enjoy it. But the second one it doesn't look that good to me. Maybe if I rewatch the first one, it might get me hyped for this one. I do like the special effects person, Chris Nelson, who's doing this movie, so I might get to support that.
What else has he done?
He did the last Halloween trilogy.
Oh, okay.
And I also got to meet him this weekend. He won an Oscar for the first Suicide Squad.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, he's done stuff like that. He did the not Max Payne, but in Sin City, the effects on Mickey Rourke and stuff like that. Yes. He did him.
I love Sin City, and I watched a great video on YouTube that someone made that was called "When Green Screen Isn't Bad," I guess, or like when it works, and it was like it showed the whole process and how you literally the way they filmed it was so incredible to watch the behind the scenes of Sin City, and I really like that movie a lot. But yes, back to what you were saying about The Exorcist. Yeah, The Exorcist I think is like I haven't seen it in a long time. I think it's a really well-made film, but it's how some scary movies are fun because you're like kind of that adrenaline and it's like, this is like I feel like The Exorcist feels like just the opposite of that, and you're just like, oh my god, this is horrible, this is horrible, this is horrible. Like
it's heavy. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so that's how I feel like, which I mean I get it, like it should be like I get it, it's the whole concept, it works for that, but like I'm like looking forward to it and not looking forward to it at the same time because I know it's going to be a rough viewing.
I'm a huge fan of Exorcist 3. Have you ever seen that one with Brad Dourif?
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, Exorcist 3 is actually pretty good, and it has a good amount of like heaviness and not so heaviness, but it's actually pretty freaky, and I like it a lot. But Brad Dourif, that movie, George C. Scott's in it.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, it's
I'll check that one out. Tiana says she can't wait for the Goosebumps series. I know. Yeah, we're excited too. Yeah. People need to lighten up a bit.
I know. We need some say cheese and die.
Yes. came into talks of Slappy, and I immediately knew who you were talking about. Yeah. Vin agrees with you, Cody. Magic is a hidden gem.
I recently watched it for the first time recently. I think I saw him post about it, and I was like, oh, I really need to watch that movie because it's been on my radar for a couple of years now. And I was like, oh, well, I love doll movies because I'm a huge Child's Play fan. So I was like, I need to watch it. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's a hidden gem. I agree with Vin there.
Yes. I really liked your Child's Play. No, what was it? It was the new Chucky review you did. This was a while ago. This was like maybe your second or third video that you had posted on your channel. But that was I really thoroughly enjoyed that. Yeah.
Thank you.
I
I
think it
appreciate
makes
that.
a difference when people are fans of the product, like the IP, and then they like. I feel like I trust their opinion so much more than just normal critics, because they're going to be for a little bit more forgiving, but also more critical as well at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you
Yeah.
care more.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
Tiana just added it to her list. That's great.
I think it might be on Shutter. I'm not
Shudder?
100. Yeah, it's on some streaming site because I remember looking it up because that's where I watched it on. And I think it was Shutter. If not Shutter, it might be like HBO Max or something like that. But I think if
Right.
you Google it, it shows where you can watch it.
Right. That's good to know. I'm definitely going to add it to my list too. Echo was not canceled. It was just postponed. I know they were considering canceling it altogether. Oh, this is this kid. I love his thumbnail, by the way. He commented on one of my videos, and that I guess it's a profile picture, is just the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Winnie
I
the
love
Pooh.
Winnie
Yeah.
the Pooh.
Yeah, so
Just
do I.
sleeping with a bucket of honey. Yeah, so it was just delayed, but I think something scandalous came out where like Kevin Feige, I think, said that he didn't want to release it or something like that, and it's a mess. So
Yeah.
The Exorcist, you mean horrified in a good way or a bad one? Like in a good one, but like one that I'm not going to enjoy. Like it's so hard to explain this.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's like, do you know who Leslie Nielsen is? Like the
Yes.
guy from Naked Gun. Well, he made a parody Exorcist movie when I was like really young. I watched that all the time. So sometimes it's hard for me to like, I can't remember which one's which. And Linda Blair is in that one as well.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So it's like it's an Exorcist. He plays like the father, or like the priest, but it's a slapstick comedy. It's hilarious.
That is so funny. I'm
Yeah,
gonna look that up.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but it's really funny.
That would be fun to watch around this time of year too. So that's a good suggestion. Question for you, Cody. There was a new trailer for John Woo's film that came out, and so I guess Max wants to know if you are stoked for it.
I knew nothing about it, but I'm stoked now because I love John Woo. I'm a big John. Woo.
Cool. Yeah, I think it just came out yesterday or something. So.
Oh wow, cool. Is it an American movie or is it a Hong Kong movie?
I think it's an American. Yeah.
There was an actor in it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, there was an American actor as the lead, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference, but it'd be cool to see him come back to do American movies, which I know he could probably do a lot more over in Hong Kong. Because when I was a kid, I had a VHS tape that I recorded, and I had Broken Arrow and Face Off, and I would watch those both back to back. It'd be like a double feature. I do all the time. So he was a big part of my childhood in the 90s.
Right.
Those two movies.
Yeah. Hard Copy Blues, Vin. I rewatched The Exorcist not long ago. It holds up well for me, but it's definitely more of a somber film, not a popcorn horror by any means. Yeah, that's the great way to put it. That's kind of what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Somber.
Yeah. Most movies I watch are popcorn movies, but that doesn't say, or that doesn't mean that I don't like those kind of movies. Like sometimes, I'll go watch, like a somber horror movie and I'll really like it. Or like a lot of times there'll be movies I don't want to see and I'll watch them and I'll really like them. So.
Yeah. The Cobwebs is agreeing with you about The Exorcist 3.
It's I'm a huge Brad Dourif fan, so I watched it because of that. Because like I said, when I was a kid, I didn't really like the first one, and I never watched the second one. But they're like, you really don't need to see because I think the third one and the first one kind of connect. So, or maybe they don't. I can't remember. But anyways, yeah, the third one I've seen numerous times, and it's really good.
Well, I'm happy to hear that because maybe after I see it, I'll get on like I don't know if I'm going to, but I might get on an Exorcist kick and want to watch
I've heard the second one is the worst. I have not seen it though.
Yeah, I've heard that one's really bad too. Let's see. Silent Night is an American movie and it's starring yes, that's what it is. Joel Kimman. Yeah. I don't actually, the actor, when I saw the trailer, he looked really familiar, but I can't place where I saw him in.
Doesn't he play Rick Flag from Suicide Squad? Is that him?
Oh, yes. 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 Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. It's been a while since,
He's in
since
RoboCop
that.
the remake. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also he also had a TV show, but I can't remember what that was. Like not the following, but it was something like that.
Mm.
But yeah, I have not seen that trailer yet. I saw it. Didn't it come out today?
Yeah, I believe yes, today or yesterday. I don't
Mhm.
remember which one.
Yeah.
Dell wants to know what your favorite John Woo is.
My favorite is going to be Face Off. I know that's probably a white boy answer, but I love Face Off just because I watched it all the time as a kid.
Oh,
And then Broken Arrow. I've not seen. I think he did. He did Hard Boiled, right? Hard Boiled,
I
which I
believe so. Yeah.
okay, and I have not seen that, but that looks really really good.
Yes. Reloaded says just recently saw Men. I wanted to see this actually. This was an A24 horror film that came out I think last year. So I'm going to see what he has to say about it. Man, A24 films are challenging, but I love them. Jessie Buckley is one of my fave actresses right now. She has a series coming out on Apple. Have you seen the trailer? I have not seen the trailer for that.
Neither have I.
I'm glad you brought up A24 Reloaded because I just watched as for horror films, I just watched X, which is the next one is Pearl, and then Maxine is coming out, and I quite liked it a lot. Did you see any of those?
Yeah, I saw. So I was actually dragged to see X. And
Okay.
I was like, I really don't want to. For some reason, like A24 is like people. I always see it too late. It's not that I don't like their horror movies, but it's like people like build it up so high that when I watch it, I'm just like, okay, yeah, I liked it. It was all right. So like when I saw A24 was doing it, I was like, I don't know. I'll see it. And I loved X. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I didn't see Pearl yet, but I'm looking.
Oh, you haven't seen Pearl? Okay,
No.
yeah, Pearl's good too.
Awesome.
And Maxine, I'm excited for.
Yes. Cody, you got to say it. Face off.
Face off.
I'm gonna actually, since it is spooky season. I guess this is the first. Is this? Yeah, this is the first official stream of the spooky season. I'm gonna put this on solo for a second, and if you could just recommend maybe some horror movies you saw recently and some or that maybe you haven't seen but you're looking forward to see. I'd love to get your opinion on that because you are a big horror fan. So I think if anyone's going to do that, that'd be great for you to give some suggestions.
Yeah, so there's the I can't even remember what it's called. No One Will Save You.
Oops, sorry about that.
Yeah, no one will save you on Hulu. I saw the trailer for it, and they showed the one alien, and it kind of looked like an alien from, it looked like a grasshopper or whatnot. And I wrote it off. I was like, I really don't want to see this, but I was forced to watch it when it came out. Someone's like, oh no, let's watch it. Let's watch it. I was like, all right, I'll watch it. And I really, really like that movie. I like that actress. I can't remember her name, but she was in a show called Last Man Standing that I used to watch with Tim Allen. And other horror movies that have come out. Man, I cannot think. Recent horror movies, like Saw X, I want to see. I have not seen that yet. I heard that Talk to Me is good. I have not seen that either. That's another. See, I do this thing where I judge trailers. Where I'm just like, oh my god! Like when I saw the trailer for Talk to Me, it looked like it was going to be like a PG-13 horror movie, like one of those movies that, like Truth or Dare, or like one of those kind of movies. Yeah. And I was just like, I don't want to see this, but everyone says it's so good. But so that's on my list to see. A recent movie, I guess it's about a year old, a movie called Beast that I really liked with I can't think of it. I always say his name wrong. Elia Elbez.
Oh, Idris Elba.
Yes.
Elba?
Yes.
No, wait. Now I'm confused.
Yeah.
Idris Elba. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So it's about a lion. And I thought it was really cool. And it has great camera work. And I keep telling people that. And they're like, okay, Cody, a movie about a man-eating beast that has great camera work. But it really does. It's a really good movie. I like it. And I try to tell people how just how good it is. And Megan is another movie. But I can't really think of anything that I like recent I'm sure like I like Scream 6, but that's really not that recent. But for older movies, I always try to get people to watch this 90s thriller called The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Whenever I get a chance, I throw that in there. It's a movie called Hand That Rocks the Cradle. It's a really cool thriller. So if you guys have never seen it, go check it out.
I have not, so I'm going to write that down.
Okay, yeah. It's one of my favorites with Rebecca DeMoy. She's great in it. Yeah. And Julianne Moore. It's a very early Julianne Moore movie. It's from 1992.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. I was gonna say, I kind of keep thinking Talk to Me. I can understand. There's two camps. There's people that don't think they should do a sequel and they should just leave it alone. But it lends itself so well to becoming like the next Scream, I think.
Really?
It's one of those because it's like you can do it so many different ways and different kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it would be like Scream, but with a different lead, I think, every time because it's like this. I'm not spoiling anything, but like this hand is something that is passed around with teenagers, so it kind of goes from different house. You know what I mean? So it's easy to turn it into a franchise like that.
Yeah, and I don't
like Scream. You'll like it.
Okay, yeah, I love Scream is one of my favorite movies, so I'm sure I like it. But yeah, like when I saw the trailer, I just kind of I saw it before Evil Dead Rise, and I just kind of threw it off. I didn't even notice that it was A24, and then somebody said it. I was like, that's an A24 movie? Because now after I saw X, I'm more of an A24 fan. I'm going back and watching more of their horror movies.
Well,
and then
sorry, no.
Oh, no. I was going to say, and then I realized that I like a lot of A24 movies that aren't horror movies, like Red Rocket and mid-90s. And I'm my most anticipated movie of the year is Iron Claw with Zac Efron.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you because you've seen Resident Evil, what was it? What was it called?
Evil Dead Rise.
Sorry, Evil Dead Rise. I don't know why I said Resident Evil. I'm like confusing there. It's like that's like the
no. It's understandable. Yeah.
I feel too scared to see it because that mom looks insane. So it keeps popping up on the TV and like it's spooky season. I'm like, do I have the balls to watch this? I don't know. Like, how scary do you think that this movie is?
So it has a lot of comedy in it as well. Like,
okay.
So it has a good mixture. Like there's some funny, it's some gross stuff in it though. I'll tell you that. So some gory stuff. I liked it. I thought it was fun. I'm not like the number one Evil Dead fan. So maybe that's why I liked it. I know some people were like, oh, it wasn't silly enough for me, or this and that. But I really enjoyed it, and I like the 2013 one. So it's kind of like in the same wheelhouse of that, but with a little more comedy. But it's like subtle comedy. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
No, you can continue. I'm just bringing this up.
Oh, no.
Weird.
Oh, thank you. No, but yeah, I definitely recommend it. And it's just, as long as you're not like squeamish and you don't mind people dying, it's
yeah, I'm okay with, I'm pretty okay with gore to a certain extent. I think where I draw the line is when things are like the Human Centipede. Like I'll never watch that.
Funny story. My ex-girlfriend was a huge fan of the movie and the Human Centipede, and she wanted me to watch it, and I was so bored, so we stopped watching. I got so bored even before it got, like, we cut it off before it even got to the centipede stuff. It was just super boring movie to me.
Wow.
So yeah. So maybe I'd like it now, but
it's
at the time,
I think it's like the gross when a movie is just supposed to be like a
gross
out movie.
Yeah.
Like how far can we push it? And I don't find anything about that appealing, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with like horror movie gore, like normal stuff.
Do you like Terrifier too and stuff like that? Because that's over the type. Okay.
I'm so nervous.
I would say it's good and it has a lot of gore. But people ask me, they're like, "Well, is it unnecessary gore?" And I was like, "Well, I don't really know how to answer that. Like, it depends on the person. Like, I thought, once in a while, it's cool. And in this movie, it was cool. So I recommend Terrifier 2. But it is a lot of gore, over the top gore.
Yeah, it's interesting too when horror films do something that is a little bit more gross out and like you're not expecting it, because I just watched Barbarian recently, and the one thing that I wasn't expecting, and I did you see Barbarian?
Yeah, I saw it in theaters. Yeah,
so no spoilers. So obviously, but I mean, this is a little bit of a spoiler. When Justin Long's eyes get like pushed in. I was not expecting that, and I actually did one of those like look down and like look up types of things. Yeah, because it
Well,
wasn't like that the whole movie, you know.
the whole marketing for that whole movie was great. Like nobody knew what they were getting into when you sat in the theater seat and started watching that movie. Like the first 15 minutes is in the trailer, and then you're like, well, what else is going to happen now? You know, because like Justin Long is in the movie, he's not even in the trailer, you know, and Justin Long's a huge part of the story.
Yeah, yeah. And at first, I thought Justin Long was going to be the villain once he
Yeah,
arrived, and I was like,
yeah,
oh, he knows what's going on in this house, and blah blah blah.
yeah. Yeah, I do love. I liked in Barbarian. It's not really a spoiler, but it kind of shows you it shows you three different types of men, and like how women have to proceed each one, and that's what I thought was really cool about it.
You're right, and I gotta say, Bill Skarsgård,
Hmm.
he was perfect.
He was great.
You didn't know if you could trust him at
Uh-huh.
all, and
Yeah,
he's
I
just
know.
being a
Nice guy. I know. I know. And I saw that it was Justin, because Justin Long is great in it too. That was actually supposed to be Zac Efron, which I'm a huge Zac Efron fan, so that's why I'm bringing it up. So I was like, I wonder how that would go with Zac Efron, but he turned it down. But I think Justin Long, knocked it out of the park.
He did, and it's funny because it also felt like a commentary on cancel culture and the Me Too thing, because you don't know in the beginning, like, did he actually R-word a girl, and like you don't know that, and it's like you kind of don't know if you should feel bad for him or not. And then I think the geniusness of the movie is when his true colors kind of reveal themselves when he explains to her when he had to throw her off the building, and he kind of says that stuff that men say when they're like, oh well, like judge something,
Yeah.
like, oh my god, this is so smart, know.
Well, and he says a line earlier in the movie where it's just like, sounds like you did something bad there, buddy. Like,
yes.
Yeah, like there's little clues that he says. I'm just like, yeah.
Yes, it's when he has a conversation. He's drinking at the bar
with his friend. Yeah.
Yes.
And I was just like, okay, buddy. All right, Justin. That's
yeah. When he's like, she needed some like convincing or something.
Convincing,
like
yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But it is good because like I do think that in general, like the whole cancel culture thing is can be scary for men, even if they're like if they're proven guilty or they're not proven guilty. It's like it's kind of like that's like its own horror thing too. So it was like interesting that the director brought that in, and then you find out that like he probably was a horrible person.
Yeah.
But there's so many layers to the writing in this movie that I really loved.
Yeah, and like the director and writer, he was have you ever seen the movie Miss March?
A long time ago.
A long time. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He was one of the actors in there. They were like in a comedy troupe together.
Wow.
I forgot what it was. Yeah. There's two of the guys in the movie. One of them actually passed away during the pandemic. And then this one went off and made this movie. But yeah, they were, I forgot. I think like The Coolest Kids You Ever Know, or some kind of comedy troupe that they used to do. I think they were from like Canada or something. So it's funny to see these comedy people move into horror and just, knock it out of the park.
No, that's really cool.
I would say I take it you liked Barbarian, right?
I really liked it.
So
yes.
did I.
Yeah.
Richard Brake was or is that his name Richard Blake? Richard Brake. He was at the Halloween 45 convention. He was the guy who played like the guy from the 70s or the 60s or the 80s, like like the guy who was shopping for baby stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, he was there. He seems like a very nice guy, but it's weird when I see him. I'm like, because I see him at conventions a lot, and I guess people want him to play Freddy Krueger, and I think he'd play a good Freddy Krueger.
Oh, he would. Yeah. Speaking of Freddy Krueger, I mean, I felt that when they rebooted it, it could have been a lot better. I think I was disappointed because the casting was really good. It was Rorschach from The Watchmen, and I know his name, I'm blanking out right now, because I thought he was a perfect choice, but it's just the movie to me, I think didn't live up to the expectations that I had.
It was so CGI heavy, and I knew that I can't think of his name either, but he had a lot of ideas that he wanted to do, and I think like the producers, the system, when they got on set, they're like, hey, try to be more Robert England, and they're like, well, people are not going to like that, and that's people did not like that, because like the comedy kind of comes out of nowhere, like he was serious, then all of a sudden he's joking around, like, but yeah, that's just interference by the studio.
Yeah. Dell says, I hated everything Ty West, but went to see X anyway and loved it. Then loved Pearl and can't wait for Maxine. Yeah.
I think Maxine has potential to be the best one, just because it's going to be set in 84 or 85. And that's just like, I love watching stuff in that era. And I just, especially knowing the character now and seeing them in the 80s, I think it's going to be pretty cool. And plus it has Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. And I loved, I didn't pick up on it initially when I was watching X that Mia Goth was also playing the old woman, girl. And I thought that was just fantastic. I don't want any spoilers, but I'm wondering if that goes into play at all in Pearl, or if it's more of a backstory on who this woman was.
Yeah. It's just backstory, it's really good. And it's funny too, because I probably wouldn't have been interested in Pearl if it wasn't for X. Like, I don't know why. And like, to me, I kind of look at Pearl as kind of like I know this sounds crazy, but it kind of reminds me of like the Wizard of Oz. Like, I feel like I'm watching the Wizard of Oz a little bit. Just like kind of like a messed up version of the Wizard of Oz, kind of.
Oh, totally. Because at first I felt that, sometimes like I kept thinking that the old woman was like, they clearly put prosthetics on someone because older people in general don't look that scary. You know what I mean? So like that creepy, so I was like, well, maybe they just did it to make this person look really hideous. But then when I realized it was her playing both, I thought it was just genius. Really cool.
And I didn't realize it was her until I was watching the credits. I was like, oh, that's her. And then, like, if you saw it in theaters after the credits, all of a sudden you see a trailer for Pearl, and you're like, wait, okay, this makes perfect sense. Yeah. It was after the credits they showed the trailer, because they shot them back to back. That was a really cool treat for anybody who stayed after the credits. You're like, oh wow. And it made sense because in the movie, is it Maxine? I think it's Maxine's looking. It's either Maxine or Pearl's looking at the photos of her when she's younger. And it's Mia Goth. So I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense that it's her. Like, now I can see Mia Goth, but at first I had no idea, but she did a great job. And to me, honestly, I think the breakthrough performance in that movie in X was Kid Cudi. I thought he was excellent. He was great in that movie.
He was really good in that movie. Yes. Actually, I just saw a trailer with him in it as well. I think he's in the new John Woo film.
Oh, really? That's cool.
It might not be this because I watched a bunch of trailers recently, and I know that he's in something coming up. So, but I think it's that. But yeah, that's awesome. A Haunting in Venice was really good. Thanks, Matt, for joining. I do want to see it. I need to watch the other Agatha Christie remakes. Yeah, Death on the Nile and Murder on the Orient Express. I saw the original, but I didn't see Kenneth Branagh's versions. But I do like Kenneth Branagh. So
is this is actually the third one then, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I was thinking it was the sequel. Okay, so there's 3 of them.
Cobweb's channel says, did you see Cobweb? Obviously the title caught my eye, but it's a fave of the year. I really want to see it. So I keep hearing great things.
Yeah, I've not seen it either, but I've heard nothing but good things. I think that might be on Shudder or somewhere. I know it's easily available somewhere.
It is easily available. Yeah, I think I almost watched it the other night. I think that's when I went with Pearl. So I'm sorry, X.
X. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised you haven't seen X or Pearl sooner, like in theaters, because I feel like you're really gonna like Pearl.
Cool. The twins. I think he's probably talking about Mika and Kira, but recommended Nanny last night, so I added it to mine.
Nanny, that sounds good.
Double horror podcast. I think that's probably, but I don't know about the Nanny. Yeah,
I don't know either. I know that they're big fans of the Hand That Rocks the Cradle. So if Nanny is anything like Hand That Rocks the Cradle, then it's right up my alley.
Hand That Rocks. Dell says Beast is a fun popcorn creature feature.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I thought it had great camera work.
Yeah, everyone is digging Beast. Loved Hand the Rocks at Cradle. Everyone's talking about how great that was. Let's see that now we got some we have a very active chat, so I'm gonna kind of skip around here to a little bit. But Evil Dead Rise was so much fun. I didn't think it was as bloody as the 2013 version.
Yeah, I think 2013 2013 had a way bigger budget because they made Evil Dead Rise for HBO Max, and then someone somewhere was like, "Hey, we should put this in theaters," which I'm glad they did because them not putting Prey in theaters was a missed opportunity for Disney. So
yeah. Dell says Moonlight, The Farewell, Uncut Gems, and Ex Machina are excellent non-horror flicks from A24. Mm-hmm. I agree. I'm glad you brought up The Farewell, Dell, because a lot of people do not like, oh my God, what is that? Awkwafina. And they find her to be incredibly annoying. And if you watch The Farewell, she's actually the star of it. And it's a very opposite role than people have seen her in before. Mm-hmm. It's not comedic, and I think she's actually a lot better than people realize. I know she has like a shtick, but like there's more to her range, and I think it's just because she's choosing projects that fit what her persona is. But The Farewell is really good. Did
she write the movie as well?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised.
For some reason I thought she did, but this is me knowing nothing about the movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. The whole concept is the grandmother is, I think, diagnosed with cancer, and in their culture, they believe to not tell the grandmother and just let life go on. So, because I think as soon as she realizes it, then it's not going to extend her life further, as if she doesn't know. So, it's kind of like how she deals as a granddaughter, like dealing with that, not like almost like guilt, like almost, you know what I mean? So
yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
sounds really good.
Mm-hmm. Barbarian was such a huge surprise. Yes, it was. Mm-hmm. Johnny, that cheese grater scene is a nasty in Rise. Oh.
So they kind of did marketing around this cheese grater. So when they got to the cheese grater scene, it was very lackluster to me. Because like it was only in this, it's only in the movie for like a second, but I think it was in the trailer and people freaked out. They're like, oh my God, that's a great idea. So they kept like putting the cheese grater and all this different marketing and stuff like that. So once it got kind of down to it, I'm like, oh, that was it. But it is pretty gnarly scene. But it's very quick, very short.
Yeah. Well, that sounds horrifying, but I will trust your judgment. Skarsgård is always great every time he shows up in a movie. Yes, I agree. He was great as Pennywise. These two are both. There's two I'm going to pull up that are tied. Does anyone find A24 horror more digestible compared to other lower budget? I'm going to put up the Cobwebs comment in referring to that, and then we'll get a viewpoint from you. Feels like A24 horror movies always have the right budget. It never feels like they're smaller movies than they should be.
Yeah, he hit that right on. Cobwebs is exactly correct. They have the budget to do what they want, where these lower budget movies are trying to do what they want. You know, they're not out to make a bad movie. I mean, unless it's like an Asylum, like The Asylum doing their movies, but not a lot of people are trying to make their movies look low budget. They're trying, you know, they try their best. Someone who's made movies and stuff themselves, you try to make it look as good as you can. You don't want it to look low budget, but sometimes it's just, you can't do anything about it because you just don't have the money.
I agree with you, and I think that's a great point, because I look at a film like Talk to Me, which had a $4 million budget. You take any like indie filmmaker, you give them $4 million, and it's like, oh my God, it's like you gave someone $300 million for a Marvel movie. It is like, oh
exactly,
my God, you know, and it changes everything. And I think a lot of the independent horror films are on like much less of a budget than 4 million. Like, it's fantastic that they got $4 million. And now it seems like, oh, that's nothing. But if you know how to make a movie and you get the right people and all the practical effects and are smart with the budget, I mean, my goodness, it's endless what you can do.
Yeah. And sometimes when you're so limited on a budget, sometimes you get like lightning in a bottle. it's crazy sometimes the creativity that you and your team can come up with. So I do like watching what people can do with little money. It's great.
Yes. Actually, I wanted to bring this up because I didn't know if you saw it because I was considering watching this. So I'm glad someone brought it up in the chat.
Yeah.
Just watched Skinamarink. Have you seen it? It's literally like a bad dream you can't wake up from. It's slow, but the unease, confusion, and darkness is so unnerving. Kids in horror films always get me.
Yeah, I've not seen it, and I've heard mixed things. Some people say it's really scary, and some people say you're just looking at a floor the whole time. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to spend 2 hours looking at the floor the whole time. So I kind of, for some reason, I'm leaning towards the negative reviews on that one, just because, like, man, I really, there are other things I could probably watch.
Right. I think that's why I'm going to keep Skidamarink as something I ask throughout the month if I should dive into it or not. Okay, Matt Montada said, love Skinamarink. That was a rare instance in which a movie legitimately scared me. Well, maybe it is that like slow burn, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my god,
well, so what I've heard is it's burn, or it's like, slow, and then it ends, and you're just like, wait, nothing happens. So that's what got me from not really wanting to watch it. And I was like, dang, it probably would have been better to see in theaters, or if not, turn off all your lights, flip your phone on its side so you can't see the light or anything, and just glue your eyes to it. Hopefully that freaks you out or something. But yeah, I heard it leads up to nothing. So that's why I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, cool. Agreed. Jackie Earl Haley was that's his name. Thank you, Dal.
Yeah.
Stuck in a crappy movie. Yeah. Oh, I'll be fixing my camera really quick.
Yeah.
Any non-horror movies that you're looking forward to seeing coming out? And I'm going to put you on solo mode while I fix this.
Yeah, so like I said, I want to see A24's movie. I think it comes out around Christmas, called Iron Claw. It's about the Van. Now I can't think of their names. The famous the Van Ness family from. They're wrestlers in the 80s. It's like a family. They were huge in Texas. They have such a tragic story filled with drug addiction, suicide, and whatnot. It's going to be a dark movie, and I'm excited to see Zac Efron take on a role like that. And also the guy from The Bear is in it. He's from the other movie, or the Shamelessness. He's also from that show. I do want to see other non-horror movies. Like I still want to see Equalizer 3. I like the first two a lot, and it kind of goes to show you that somebody who doesn't do sequels, neither of them do sequels. The director and George Washington, Denzel Washington, they don't do sequels, but this is their third one, so it kind of says that there's something in this that they both thought that would appeal to the masses. So I still want to see that. And I want to see Expendables 4. I know I'm the only one that is excited about that. I know people are just tearing it apart, but I have a huge soft spot for Stallone. So I will be on that ship till it sinks. But I do want to see that. And those are movies that have already come out. I still want to see Saw X, but that's a horror movie. And I can't think of what else is coming out that's not horror.
No, that's a great list. Yeah, I remember seeing the trailer for Expendables 4, and I just didn't care. I know the trailer relies heavily on Megan Fox. I don't think that she sells a movie anymore. Like, obviously she's nice to look at, but it's like like the whole chemistry with her and oh my god, what's his name? The big action guy that's in Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, what do I do with this? You know what I mean? It didn't sell me. And the tagline is so funny. Do you know what the tagline on the poster says?
It was they'll die when they're dead. Is that the one? Yeah. Yeah. So it looks like a low budget Expendables movie, but I'm a huge fan of Jason Statham. I'm a huge fan of 50 Cent, and I'm a huge fan of Stallone. So it's just and it's cool too, because 50 Cent was supposed to be in the original one, but he had to drop out or was replaced by Terry Crews. So it's
right.
it'll be cool to see him in that. And like I said, I know it's getting terrible, and I mean terrible reviews. And even when you watch the trailer, it looks like a fake background most of the time. I'm just like, oh, I just watched the newest Jeepers Creepers, and that the fake backgrounds was throwing me off. And I was like, man, I hope the Expendables is nothing like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Double feature podcast. Love that they're here.
Yes.
I'm trying to
they're
get
awesome.
them on for Halloween or something because that'd be really fun.
Yeah, they're awesome. Mika and Kara
created a really cool animated film for Netflix last year called Intergalactic. It's not a kids flick, but all adult oriented urban romance. Oh, that sounds awesome.
Oh, yeah, sounds good.
That sounds really good. Born to be Rad. What up, you rad peeps? Hey, thanks so much for stopping by.
It's my rad dude's brother right there. Garrett, what's up, buddy?
I gotta get him on the show sometime. That'd be fun.
Oh, he's awesome. And Garrett, congratulations on hitting 4K, buddy.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, he hit that last night, I believe.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love seeing everyone do well.
Mm-hmm.
Aquafina is annoying, like nails in a chalkboard annoying, but I've heard nothing but amazing things about the farewell and her performance. Yeah, so like if people don't, I actually didn't mind her shtick in Crazy Rich Asians, and I thought it fit that well, but I can see it getting tired for a lot of people. I know she has a series. I think it's on, I don't know if it's on FX or Hulu or something.
Comedy Central, like Nora from Queens.
Yes, and that seems to be like well received. So
it looks funny.
Yeah. I don't think that I don't hate her. I think it works in a time and place. I think the stuff they did with her in Little Mermaid didn't really work well. I think that the Lin-Manuel Miranda rap that he wrote in his sleep, I think didn't do the best for her. But you know.
And I don't mind her either. It is, if you close your eyes and you hear her talk, sometimes she sounds like Miley Cyrus to me. Is that like she? So like sometimes I'm just like, is that Miley Cyrus or is it? But yeah, she sounds like Miley Cyrus to me. But yeah, she doesn't annoy me or anything. But then again, maybe I haven't seen much of her. I liked her in. I didn't mind her in Little Mermaid, which I'm somebody who actually liked the Little Mermaid. I know a lot of people didn't, but I did enjoy it.
I didn't hate it. No, I think they just made some odd choices. And I always say this, making Sebastian not the King's composer just made no sense for Under the Sea. So,
yeah. well, that, and I didn't like, like the ending scene. It wasn't on a ship or whatever. It was like on a deck. It was on like the patio or whatever. It's almost, yeah, and like because I was talking to a friend, I was like, I was really disappointed. My favorite scene wasn't in the movie, where like the chef and Sebastian. I was like, I didn't even realize that was not in the movie. Like, I just didn't even think about it. But you know what was crazy is listening to A Whole New World, like when she's like, like listening to that in theaters, like I got goosebumps, and I was like, this is like I thought that was really cool. Like listening to like a song from my childhood like that, like I just love. Same with like Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast was the first movie I saw in theaters, so seeing that and seeing the remake in theaters, I like that as well. But
the live action Disney ones, they haven't blown me away like I feel like they should, but I'm hoping that they get their act together. I really think it's really the directors they choose, which are the issues. I am very excited for Questlove directing the Aristocats.
So, really?
Awesome.
I did not know that was coming out.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Everybody wants to be. We need Oliver and Company.
Oh, I know.
That's some good songs in that movie. I know you recently just saw that in the park, right? Yeah.
I just had a thought. Let's not make them CGI anything. Let's do what they did in Strays and use real dogs and a real cat, and let's make it happen.
Yeah, I still have not seen Strays. I want to see that so bad.
Oh, you will. You'll have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, everyone. Starships of Greatness. Thank you for joining us. Checking this out while I'm on break at work. How is everyone? I think we're doing great. We're having a great conversation. So thank you for joining the party here on our happy hour hour.
Yeah.
Fans of something, thanks for joining. Skinamarink is a favorite horror film for me. Very slow but incredibly terrifying. Okay.
All right. So see, Eddie and I, we seem to like a lot of the same movies sometimes. So it's a movie that like I said, it probably doesn't look good to me, but I'm gonna watch it and be like, wow, that was really good. Or I'm gonna watch it and be like, oh, that was all right. But while I'm sleeping, I'll be like, maybe I should face the wall, or maybe I should face the door just to make sure nothing comes in, kind of thing.
Well, I'm seeing now they're getting into a little bit of a he and Born to Be Red here.
Okay.
I shut off, and then so he says I shut it off after 40 minutes. I couldn't take it, and then fans of something says, "See, Born to Be Red shut it off because of how terrifying it was." And then he's like, "If only garbage." And then yeah, that's fun. I love these conversations.
Yeah, and
fantastic.
I also. Garrett and I also like the same movies too, so now I'm like, great. I'll just have, it's one of those things where it's like I'll just have to watch it for myself, make my own opinion.
You should make it a big event, like a live stream of
a live
drum roll, please. Did he give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Thumbs down, yeah. But it does look like one of those movies where, like I said, you just have to turn off all the lights and maybe put my phone in another room just so I'm not distracted by anything and just lose myself in the movie.
Does horror keep getting more cerebral and or meta, or is it just me, a smarter era?
Yeah, I think so. I just think it's they're trying to do something different. Like, people are kind of tired. When people get tired of something, they just try to create something different and go on. And once the meta and the cerebral stuff, runs its course, it's either going to go back to slashers or back to, haunted house movies or, whatnot. And it's like the circle of life. It's just going to keep going on. And then someone will reinvent the wheel and it'll keep just going on.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that we're seeing that. I think we're going to be having a huge sci-fi AI horror era of that as well, with everyone obsessed with aliens and space and AI. I think that's probably because it's always like a reflection of what's going on in society, and I think that's really big right now, which is why when No One Can Save You came out, I was like, oh well, this is like just the very beginning of the next
of this, yeah.
Yeah. And I
think it did well too, right?
Yeah.
Or as well as they can on a streaming site, I guess.
Yes, and I forget who brought. Maybe it was my friend, the Bone Bridger. He was saying that like if it had been a Netflix series or not series, a Netflix movie, the numbers probably would have been even like quadruple. Just because more people have Netflix than Hulu. But yeah, I liked it a lot. Dell says, has Megan Fox ever sold a movie? Even Jennifer's Body didn't make that much of the box office. No, I agree. I think she's just, one of the most famous people in the world. So I think that's probably what the appeal is. Let's see. The rap was one of the few problems I had with The Little Mermaid. Yeah. I've always felt that Lin-Manuel Miranda is always hired to put like one song in a Disney movie or another project, and it doesn't always fit. Like if you're going to see an entire Lin-Manuel Miranda project, it works. Like it's kind of like seeing like a Sondheim, and then you're there to see that writer's all of his musical style, but just throwing him in because he can like make a song for you, it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
The Cobwebs channel, I actually dug the live action Aladdin. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I personally did not like it for a lot of reasons because I felt the costumes and scenery set felt cheap. But I do think that Will Smith did a great job as the genie because those are really hard shoes to fill.
I saw that Jim Carrey was going to do the genie, but he couldn't leave the country because he had to be in a trial for like his ex-girlfriend's suicide because she blamed him, so he couldn't like leave the city or leave the area or whatnot, so he had to pass on it. And then I saw I was going to go to Gabriel Iglesias, so I thought he would have been a good job too. But I thought Will Smith did a good job. But when I know, like, to me, when I'm like, okay, if Robin Williams can't do it, who's the next best thing that could do it is Jim Carrey to me. So I'm very sad that we didn't get to see Jim Carrey as the genie.
That's really interesting. I wish they could do like an animated special or like at least something and then have him voice it. That would be really fun.
Yeah, it would have been crazy to see what he could do. Yeah.
The Little Mermaid was okay, and that final battle was so dark I couldn't make anything out. It was dark. It was very
Yeah.
dark. Questlove directed the awesome Summer of Soul a couple years ago. It earns, yes, I've always actually, I really want to see this. I remember when he won for that, and the trailer looked fantastic. It's essentially, it was like another music festival. It was taking place around the time of Woodstock. And it just looked like a really great documentary. So I definitely want to watch that.
Yeah, it looked good.
I'm really enjoying seeing more sci-fi and horror on this big and small screen. Yeah, absolutely. We are all on board for that. Especially because I love Black Mirror, and that's always been kind of like the show. I feel like that's like a time traveling. It's like predicting the future all the time. So I love that that's now becoming a focus in films we're getting. Yeah, great, fantastic, really good. Yeah, I went into Aladdin ready to join the rest of the hate for Will trying to fill Robin's shoes, but he pulled it off. I really enjoyed the remake and his performance. Yeah, his performance. I know that's not anything that I complain about when it comes to that movie. So
yeah,
and I do like the song that they gave Jasmine, because Jasmine didn't have a song in the animated film, and I like the song they gave her in that.
it was a good song.
Yeah, I didn't like the song they gave the prince in Little Mermaid, because it felt like it was a song about nothing. But
yeah, yeah.
They write these songs to like get an Oscar nomination for best song, because they have to write something new, otherwise they don't qualify. And I was like, wow, this song did just came and went.
Yeah, and they did a song, "A Whole New World." It was Zayn. Is his name Zayn from One Direction?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he did A Whole New World with, it's him, and then he has like, it's kind of like a Spanish version with Becky G, and I thought that was really good. There's a Spanish version and a non-Spanish version. They're both really good, but I really like the Spanish version. Of course, Zayn's part's not in Spanish, but her part is. It's really good.
That's cool.
Check it out if you have a chance.
I actually wouldn't have minded Steve Martin as the genie in the live action. Yeah, maybe like 30 years ago.
Steve Martin. I think Martin Short would have been a great genie. He has that kind of energy. Yeah.
Yes, that's true. We are coming to the end of the movie chat happy hour with you, Cody. Is there anything coming up on your channel or any streams you're going to be a part of that people can look out for?
So I have I bought like an official good guy doll, which is like Chucky. I'm going to do an unboxing of that. And then I have, I'm going to do a video about my experience at Halloween 45. So look for that soon. That'll probably be dropping sometime this week, hopefully. And for streams, I feel like I have something planned. Oh, on Saturday the 14th, I'll be on ranking the franchise of Friday the 13th. I'll be on that. We'll be going through each movie, giving our thoughts, and at the very end, we'll rank them. And then I think I have a Rad Dudes. We have a Rad Dudes episode coming up soon about Halloween specials, like Halloween specials. You like the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, or the Roseanne Halloween special, and the
Simpsons.
Yeah, Treehouse of Terror or Treehouse of Horror and
That's
stuff
cool.
like Home Improvement, like those kind of shows.
Oh, that sounds so fun. If anyone in the chat, you should all be following Dude Who Loves Movies. Cody is fantastic, and he's so fun, and everything he's on is always enjoyable to watch, and his content's really great. His tag is in the description down below, so you can all follow him from that. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. He's excited. Rad Dudes Halloween.
Yeah, right. I do want to shout this out. The Rad Dudes, we had an episode about TGIF, and it was a huge hit. A lot of people messaged us privately and said how much it like meant to them and how it unlocked all these different memories. So guys, go ahead and check out that episode. It's a great episode. We go a deep dive into all TGIF shows and the history of it.
I'm a big fan of TJF, so I will absolutely be checking that out as well.
Yeah, it's fun.
Thanks again to you, and thank you everyone in the chat for stopping by, and we'll see you next week.